Hello and welcome to my shop, such as it is. Clock. I made clock. This came about because I had this piece of mahogany that was a cutoff from, well, I think it was a cutoff from making the handle for my plane, for my hand plane. The mahogany is just a really beautiful wood. It's absolutely one of my favorites. So I was thinking, what can I do with this flat sheet of mahogany that's about 1/8 of an inch thick? So I decided to make it into a clock. Then I was thinking I can't just have the flat piece of mahogany, I've got to trim it with something. Initially my idea was to trim it with the maple and do miter corners. So we ended up kind of with like a picture frame look. And that ended up not working out because I cut the maple framing pieces about 1/2 inch too short. And I could have gone back and cut new pieces, but it had been kind of a pain in the ass. It shouldn't have been, but my equipment still is a little more limited than I want it to be. I'm selling some stuff, and I think I'm going to upgrade to a new table saw. I mean, a modest table saw still, but a 10-inch. I think I'm going to go with the Wen, actually. Strangely enough, because it has a feature with one of like the job site contractor table saws. Strangely enough, it has a feature that only that and the old Delta that I have right now has, and that is pull-out outfeed support. It's a couple of rails and a crossbar with slots for the miter grooves. It slides back against the back of the saw and slides out, and it's like, I don't know why all the job site saws don't have that. It's a super simple piece to add. Not that the Delta isn't working well. It cuts just fine. I honestly am just skittish around it because it's old and it doesn't have the safety features that I really want to have on my fucking table saw, because I don't want to be a 9-fingered woodworker, to be quite honest. It doesn't have good kickback is actually the big thing. I mean, I picked up like a generic blade guard for it, but it doesn't have good. It doesn't really have any kickback protection. There's no riving knife. There's a splitter that's attached to the blade guard, but it's not great, and the gap around the saw blade is cavernous, and really hard to make a zero clearance plate for it, just because of how it's designed. There's just nothing to set it on. Like the plate that's built into it has these tiny little edges, lips that it rides on. It's only the thickness of the sheet metal. There's no depth to it really to put a piece of wood in there. So I'm really not happy. I'm not comfortable around it. It doesn't feel safe, and safety is really important to me, especially right now, as I still have an actual job that I need to keep doing until it actually is time to retire. Anyway, I'm talking to you about a clock. The little rings I made with maple, by drilling a hole with a Forstner bit and then getting a hole saw, just a regular old hole saw that's a little bit bigger, and going around it, and I ended up with the little donuts. The little walnut inserts on the corner were the result of me not cutting the maple long enough. So I figured, what can I do? And I made these little inserts, rounded them over, did a quick chamfer around everything, and I'm actually kind of happy with how it looks. I think the biggest takeaway for me from all of this is to not let myself be discouraged when things go wrong on a project, because things are going to go wrong on a project. I was watching one of Eric Curtis's videos, Ian Curtis, on YouTube, and he's really high-end furniture maker. And he was building a bookcase for his mother out of a $1,200 slab of wood. And he forgot to reset the depth on his router and plunged a hole right through the face, right through the side piece, on a side where it couldn't be hidden, couldn't turn it away, because he knew where in the house the bookcase was going to sit, so he knew that that face would be showing and there was nothing he could do about it. And, you know, that's a big oof. And he talked about the different ways to deal with it, and the most important thing is just dealing with it, really. Just saying, all right, this thing happened, what can we do about it, and then moving on. So that's kind of what I did here. I'm actually reasonably happy. I like the minimalist look. I love mahogany. I'm going to throw it up on Facebook Marketplace, and you know, if it sells, it sells. I didn't build it as a product to sell. I built it as an exercise in making something. If someone happens to fancy it and wants to take it off my hands for a couple of dollars, well, so much the better. You know, honestly, if I can get 20 or 30 bucks for it, it'll pay for the materials. And at this point, that's really all I care about. If I can recoup some of my material costs, that's awesome. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, where I will probably either talk about a deck box or a lamp. See what happens.